All right, y'all. Today we're taking a look at this boudoir photography business. Gonna look at its local Google search, city Google search, see if it has BSS for either of them. And we're back here in the GBC universe, where we're taking declining boudoir photographers to the #1 boudoir photographer in their city. As always, our North Star is FSIC, full spectrum intent capture. More of that in the pinned video, home video, somewhere around here. And that's because FSIC explains why all boudoir photographers either rise or fall. So we got our FSIC graph, in white down there. Highest intent people on the left. Google search, social search, people search for a boudoir photographer in their city, like right now. And our videos here focus on that, talking about BSS. And over on the right, the lowest intent people that ain't searching for boudoir right now, and most of them don't even know what the heck it is. They are got to reach out with the interruption ads via, Instagram, Facebook. Our sister brand talks about that, Boudoir FB Ad Doctor, where we talk about BLCS. And we currently only work with boudoir photographers running more than 10 grand a month in boudoir Facebook ads. All right, so BSS, boudoir search sameness. That's when a boudoir photographer has either 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google. So 0 slots, yeah, we're dying a fast death here because we'd be on page 2 or deeper. And we already have the data. We know approximately 80% of Google searches never even hit page 2. So basically, if we're on, approximately 80% of Google searches are page 1 and done searches. So we care about that. That's the bulk of the market. So we got to dominate page 1. And even if we got 1 slot on page 1, that's still not good enough. It's because there's 10 organic slots there. There's going to be approximately 9 other boudoir photography businesses. And as a result, we're looking the same as everyone else. And guess what a buyer behavior is going to be doing? There's going to be clicking every single link on page 1. Approximately 80% of them. All page 1, contacting everyone, never even going to page 2. Price shopping everyone, negotiating, bringing down margins, killing margins for everyone. And we do not want any of that either. Now, 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google is actually not normal. It's accepted, it's common, but it's not normal. It's actually a symptom of 2 deeper root causes. And I know this is not normal because I went from 0 out of 10 slots page 1 on Google to 9 out of 10 slots page 1 on Google in only 10 days with a new strategy we developed. Now, these 2 deeper root causes are 1, market saturation, which everyone knows about. Just more peeps over time, get a new iPhone, get a new camera. And they decided to throw up their Google My Business page, saying they shoot boudoir, their website saying they shoot boudoir, and they're also start posting the mom Facebook group saying they do boudoir photo shoots now. So it's more number of sellers over time to the same number of buyers, and really, really, makes it difficult for every other boudoir photographer in the city. And as a result, the second thing we care about, and the second deeper root cause, is the false belief of page 1 equality. This is one that basically nobody knows about. It's kind of where a lot of boudoir photographers simply agree or kind of automatically accept that every boudoir photographer gets either 0 or 1 slots page 1 on Google, and if you got it, sometimes you don't. Or boudoir photographers enter, you get relegated to page 2, which means invisible to approximately 80% of boudoir buyers who never even go to page 2. They're page 1 only peeps, and just kind of, well, hopefully somebody deletes their website. Hopefully I can move back up to page 1, but no, is incorrect. Google will actually give us as many page 1 slots as we want to put in the effort to acquire. And I know that because I went from 0 out of slots page 1 on Google to 9 out of 10 slots page 1 on Google in only 10 days. So got to break through the false belief to then see if there's, solutions out there outside the mental cage or the brain cage when we've been accepting page 1 equality. And yeah, in 2 pictures, we'll see the solution. Now, boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness is a disappearing boudoir photographer. So yeah, if we got 0 slots page 1, we're page 2 or deeper, we're visible to approximately 80% of the market. We're definitely disappearing. If we got 1 slot page 1, we're looking the same as everyone else. We're basically invisible. We're still disappearing. And as disappearing boudoir photographer, this is the kind of warning light, the flashing signal of telling us our boudoir photography business itself is on the path to disappearing. Now, thankfully, we do have a solution. Thank the universe, we've discovered that BSS is treated with social search saturation, aka S cubed methodology. So it works exactly as the name says, social search saturation. We actually saturate social search with the highest intent buyer, boudoir buyer keywords. And when we do that, it's kind of like the snow on the backside of the Andes Mountains that then melts into small streams, small rivers. Andes Mountains down there in South America. And once you get enough snow, enough water going down, eventually it flows into the Amazon River, which is page one on Google. But we got to focus on getting enough snow up top, enough social search saturation for then to then flow down onto Google page one search. So, and this has been the only solution I've seen for boudoir photographers that can successfully fight against a deeper root cause of market saturation and give boudoir photography business a chance to actually grow in the face of more and more market saturation, and give that chance in a relatively quick time frame. The only other solution I've seen to this to fight against market saturation is have a large, massive, well-known brand in the area. But gee, that takes like 5 to 10 years minimum. We ain't got that time. We got AI taking peeps jobs. We gotta get cooking. So SQ methodology is the only thing I've seen that can help with that. And the estimates from what I've looked at, I believe it can help create a well-known brand approximately 8x faster than normal methods. Now, kind of an example of fighting back against market saturation successfully. Let's say we are in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. There's approximately, there's approximately 1 million boudoir photographers there. We are one of them. Everyone's got their website saying they shoot boudoir, trying to rank page one on Google. And guess what? We're like, all right, we're in price shop to death. Can't get out page one. We gotta, dude, our only chance, either build a brand, takes 5 to 10 years, or something that could do relatively quickly, SQ methodology. So we're like, all right, we'll do SQ methodology. We'll crank it up to the max and go maximum extreme. And let's say we take up the first 300 slots for the highest intent boudoir buyer keywords on social search. And when we do that, let's say it flows onto Google, and we get the first 300 slots for the highest intent boudoir buyer Google searches as well. And so, anytime a buyer searches for boudoir in our city on social search, the social media networks, or on Google, we're basically the only one they can find because Google is 10 organic slots per page. And so that's like 30 pages is us. They basically got to go to page 31 to find any of our competitors. So if they can really only find us, even though there's 999,999 other boudoir photographers, whose business is still growing? Obviously ours. And then if they, our other competitors, 999,999, they're basically all disappearing, slowing down, exiting the market. And so this is, it's an extreme version of what SQ methodology could do, or what it could enable. But again, this is the only solution I've seen for boudoir photographers that, is even close that this is possible. Now, once treated with SQ methodology, we have page one visibility. So we get our initial benefit, more links on page one. We get our second, and now our second initial benefit here is every new link we get on page one actually kicks competing boudoir photographers off page one, effectively making them invisible. A lot of boudoir photographers actually like this second initial benefit the best, because we're actually relegating our competitors page one deeper, effectively invisible to approximately 80% of the market, who never even hits page two. They do page one and done in Google searches, and make them disappearing boudoir photographers, and eventually force them to exit the market. So it's actually a really good second initial benefit. Now, page one visibility activates boudoir search visibility for us. So this is where the GBC universe recommends to hit the 3 out of 10 minimum slots page one Google search. And once we hit those, actually, basically everyone else will have one slot for themselves, page one on Google. So we'll be dominating all those peeps. We'll look way more. Google recommended us way more. And also in the rare case, someone else has 2 slots, page one Google search, we'll be dominating them as well, because we'll have 3. So that's why the GBC universe recommends us hit 3 out of 10 slots. Now, wrong way. A boudoir photographer with BSV is a visible boudoir photographer. So we got our full, micro universe here. A disappearing boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness is caused by the dual horns of market saturation and the false belief of page one equality. We finally have a solution. Thank the universe, S cubed methodology. We achieve page one visibility. We become visible boudoir photographers with boudoir search visibility. Now my results here utilizing S cubed methodology for myself. I want to rank for the term BLCS boudoir. So I did that and I utilized S cubed methodology. Let's see the results I got. So going down to the organic slots here. We got organic slot 1, Instagram, me. Organic slot 2, me. Slot 3, me. Slot 4, me. Slot 5, me. Slot 6, me. Slot 7, me. Slot 8, me. Slot 10, me. And did all this without even having a website. So I'm from 0 to 10 slots page 1 on Google search to 9 out of 10 slots page 1 on Google search, all in 10 days, purely utilizing S cubed methodology. So these were my results that I got. All right, now to the main event here. You see that this boudoir photography business has BSS, boudoir search sameness for the local search, for their local search and their city search. So, all right. All right, so let's see what we got cooking here. So we got to go down to the organic. So this is the local Portage Park. All right. All right, let's see. Nope. All right, there we go. See him right there. We got one. All right, so we got 1 out of 10. Dude, we got BSS. Got local, for local search, we got BSS. We got 1 out of 10 slots. Google page 1. All right, let's go to city search now. Chicago, ill. All right, so scrolling, looking. Nope. All right, dude, we're at 0 out of 10. So 1 out of 10 for local, 0 out of 10 for city. So it means we do have BSS for both of them, which means we are not hitting the GBC recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 for both local and city. So if you're a disappearing boudoir photographer and you've done your local search for the highest 10 buyer keywords in local and city, and either you got BSS for one or both of them, or you're not hitting the GBC recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 slots, page 1 on Google, and you've accepted that the false belief of page 1 equality is exactly that, a false belief, and Google will actually give us as many page 1 slots as we want to put in the effort to acquire, and you're liking the initial benefits of utilizing S-cubed methodology, namely, more slots page 1 on Google, and the second initial benefit, which is kicking out our competitors from page 1 on Google, making them disappearing boudoir photographers. And you also understand the market saturation, the 2 prongs of that. Yeah, new iPhones, new gear, more boudoir photographers over time. It's unstoppable, cannot stop. But yeah, you get that. But you're also looking ahead, and you're saying, man, AI is going to be already taking people's jobs. It's going to be taking more and more people's jobs over time. And so you're like, okay, there's going to be actually kind of more and more people pushed into becoming boudoir photographers by AI taking people's jobs. And guess what? Everyone's got a smartphone with a great camera. So this will be on top of people upgrading their gear, becoming boudoir photographers. They'll be forced to. Same as back in like COVID. So you see now you're like, all right, S-key methodology, this can actually fortify my position on page 1, like by putting so many links on page 1 that we even got backup links on page 1 that Google ain't ranked because we took too many slots, which means these new boudoir photographers coming in because of AI taking their job, they have no chance to even rank on page 1. Kind of like building up the levees in Nolens, Louisiana to keep the ocean out because the ocean's below sea level. So you're seeing, okay, S-key methodology, kind of a future benefit is basically fortifying current position to the kind of standard peeps that'll be coming through as they upgrade their gear. And the other peeps who are new boudoir photographers, but they got laid off. So they needed to find some way to increase their income. And so you're liking that kind of future benefit. You also understand the 2 other future benefits, which is as we successfully execute S-cubed methodology every single day, day in, day out, what we're actually getting is we're building up these invisible thematic keyword columns around our brands, kind of like, the columns at the Parthenon in Athens, Greece, or like the hub and spoke, kind of like bicycle wheel, the hub in the middle, and all the spokes coming out. That's the hub in the middle is our brand, our business name, our website, our social handles. We're building up this kind of back-end AI mindshare that our brand is connected to all, is entrenched, connected to all these thematic keyword columns, which gives us the future increased probability, the future benefit of higher chance of being recommended right here in the AI overview and the premier prime real estate up on the top of search. And I mean, this is amazing. And can't even get this AI overview by paying for an ad. It's all about kind of, you know, keyword frequency, relevance, age, authority, all things like that. Kind of every day we build these invisible thematic keyword columns attached to our business name. Our probability of being recommended AI overview increases. Same way as being recommended in AI search. It's the same exact thing, ChatGPT search, Claude, Perplexity, Microsoft Copilot, Google Gemini, same exact process. And so if peeps are, peeps searching for boudoir photographer through AI search, dude, it's more and more every day. I mean, right now, Google standard search is like 90% of global search, but dude, AI search is more and more every single day, 100%. And last time I did a search for boudoir photographers in the city, it was with ChatGPT, and it recommended me 3. And I actually then went like Google standard search to that city, and I would see, okay, how many boudoir photographers are actually in the city, like standard search. And dude, there was like 60. I was like, what? We got to find a way. We got to get one of these 3 slots in, AI search with these AI search apps. And so you like those 2 future benefits. You also understand my plan is to only work with 1 boudoir photographer per city. My current plan is to work with only 1 boudoir photographer per city. So you're seeing that, okay, you've decided to be the first mover because, becoming the first mover, you can actually kick out your competitors and actually, build a massive gap between you and all your competitors now and the future competitors coming from AI taking people's jobs. Like this massive AI backend mindshare gap with all these thematic keyword columns that we'll be focusing on. And you also understand the reverse, where if one of your competitors actually, jumps out with me first, well, then you're going to be locked out from using our S-cubes methodology. And you're actually going to have to go rederive it, derive it the first time for yourself. You'll never actually know if you've derived it correctly because we've perfected this. And then you're going to have to equal our execution every single day. But me and your competitor, would have already been working on it for a ton, successfully executing every day. So we'd already start with a massive gap ahead of you. So with you executing equally to us every single day, you would maintain that gap. So you'd have to actually double or triple our execution every single day to like be pulling back that thematic keyword mindshare from the AI systems and their backend brain from me and your competitor towards you. And who's got 80 hours to do all this? Plus, you won't be 100% confident you've derived it correctly anyway, so probably hard to even put in the effort initially to execute it. So you realize all that, and you're like, screw that. And you're like, screw that. I don't want to deal with that. I'd rather be the first one to actually, rather be the first one to, in my city, to block out all the competitors. And so if that's you, shoot me a DM. And yeah, shoot me a DM when I open up for new patient intake. The hospital opens up again, because right now, new patient intake is closed. But when I do open up the slots for new patient intake, then yeah, shoot me a DM, and we will see if you qualify to use our S-cubed methodology.